Everton lads to kick off have told Crystal Palace that they're prepared to bid 60 million quid and include 28-year-old Turkey striker Cenk Tosun as part of the deal for Wilfried Zaha. So a third more cash than Arsenal offered for him and the player. We already know that Munich are linked with him. Fresh reports that Chelsea want to hijack that bid, even if they can't register him remarkably until next summer because of their transfer ban. All from the Telegraph. Where's he going?
So Everton are now going to have a much nicer stadium than Arsenal, which we saw the plans for yesterday, and they can blow Arsenal out of the transfer market as well. On
it seems that way. I wouldn't say they're going to blow Arsenal out of the transfer market. Like, I do wonder, is there going to be a bit of a tax thing going on here when it comes to Manchester United perhaps Manchester City leading Manchester United down the garden path when it comes to signing players like Alexis Sanchez and potentially Harry Maguire. This is Wilfried Zaha, let's not forget. They want 80 million for Wilfried Zaha. This is not, I don't know who you can even, but this is not Gareth Bale. This is still Wilfried Zaha. This is somebody who wants to leave the club for sure, and that, I think, should lower the price. The thing is, Manchester United are due a fine slice of Wilfried Zaha's transfer fee, which I believe is holding this thing up. The other thing that's holding this thing up is that they've got all the money off the Aaron Wan-Bissaka trade, or off the transfer, so they actually don't need that much. They're not actually desperate for the money. Would anybody be desperate for Cenk Tosun?
No.
Exactly. So I think there is every chance that he still goes to Arsenal at somewhere in the middle between the 40 and the 80 million price. About a 60 million transfer to Arsenal. By the way, this whole thing about Arsenal having a 40 million pounds war chest is complete nonsense. That just is not true.
The ultimate scheme where you go, I just don't have any money. I mean, we're going to have to come to a deal here.
Like, also, but can you describe 40 million as a war chest anymore? It sounds like pittance compared to it.
But this is the thing that's being put out there from like the start of the year. Like near the end of the season, it's like, no matter if Arsenal qualify for the Champions League, this is before they bottled the end of the season. No matter what they qualify for, no matter what they win, they will have 40 million pounds. What a lot of crap. It's all depending on what your season finishes on. How they manage to come up with their end of season valuation for what their transfer kitty would be is bizarre. So this is not true. Arsenal have more than 40 million quid to spend. That is a fact. And I would expect them to spend 60 million quid on one player in Wilfried Zaha. The thing is, do they now accept that? I think Crystal Palace will.
Do you think that the Arsenal HR manager is pulling Mesut Ozil in this morning and saying, listen, Mesut, this is a dangerous place for you to be?
It's not as dangerous as being in his car.
But this is what I'm saying. This geographical area is not a good place for you to be. Maybe you should look at, like, Paris seems like a good, safe city.
Not a bad idea. You'd get that weight off from around your neck.
Out the gap.
100%. Like, it's been a big day for Mesut Ozil yesterday. Let's not forget. I mean, there was a picture posted on Twitter yesterday, and a Spurs fan posted. Wait, why the hell is Ozil in our team photo? As you can see, there's Ozil at the back left, absent, missing. That's a joke. And then Ozil came back. If you look closely, you can see our trophy cabinet. Hey. Go on, Mesut Ozil. A good day. Managed to survive a knife crime and managed to completely destroy a Spurs fan.
Wolves are being linked with Sami Khedira. WTF.
Who's his agent? I have a sneaky feeling he's the same agent that brings everyone to Wolves.
Right, I'm with you.
Which makes this one a possible runner, really. Yeah? I mean, obviously Wolves...
Deal or no deal?
Well, a very possible deal, I would think. I'm not sure exactly how he fits the profile because João Moutinho runs things in the middle of that midfield unless they want a workhorse in beside him. Khedira could potentially come into play there. Jorge Mendes has a hell of a system going on there where he brings people to Wolves and eventually these Wolves players are going to be shipped on at a profit. I've absolutely no doubt. The likes of Diego Jota and so on are going to be worth an awful lot more than the 30-ish million that Wolves have paid for them. There's going to be Premier League markup if Premier League clubs buy them as well. I guess Sami Khedira is a sensible one. You just bring someone in who's a decent player. In all likelihood, he's not going to play at Juventus now that Rabiot is in as well.
Yeah, that's true. I think this is a bit of a plaster fix. I don't think it's actually a fantastic signing for Wolves whatsoever. The profile is bigger than the actual talent he'll be able to bring for a long term. A good one-season fix, perhaps. How much more does he have left?
Dani Ceballos has revealed the prospect of working with Unai Emery at Arsenal on a season-long loan from Real Madrid. He's lots of quotes that pour great praise on Unai Emery. How excited does that make you, Owen?
Hugely. Great signing. This is exactly what Arsenal needed to do. If you do believe that, okay, granted, I don't think that the 40 million thing as a transfer spend is a real thing, but ultimately they can't spend lavishly at the same time, and a one-year loan deal with an extraordinarily talented player is one way of going about it. Captain of the Spanish under-21 side that won the European Championships. I think sometimes we forget actually how well respected Unai Emery is as a manager. I think sometimes he's tarred with the same brush that all the club is tarred with. Of course, it's a crap board of directors. They're about 1 million years old collectively. Terrible backroom team, and they're starting to get that together in terms of getting Edu in. But actually, what they have is a really good manager, a really top European manager, in my opinion.
In the Europa League, for sure.
Hugely respected by people like Dani Ceballos. His quotes yesterday, of course, Spurs were in the mix with Dani Ceballos here, but he picked Arsenal because the history, the badge. Since I was little, I've been watching Arsenal playing the Champions League, well, not anymore, and so on. And there are a lot of French players who've come here. That is William Saliba, who said that yesterday, who of course also picked Arsenal over Spurs. So between Ceballos and Saliba, the young French star, the centre back that they signed yesterday, they managed to pip Spurs to the post on the double. So a great day to be an Arsenal fan.
Ceballos is a brilliant player. When he was at Real Betis 3 years ago, Adrian, if he's getting regular football, it could go well. Emery's buying guys he knows. It was the same way he tried to get Dennis Suarez last season as well. So he knows a lot about Ceballos. I think he's going to be a good player for them.
He's taking Aaron Ramsey's number 8 shirt as well, which suggests that they have some faith in him. I don't think somehow that they'll be able to keep him beyond next season, though. I think he's going to have a very good
deal
year.
by the sounds of things.
Oh, deal, massive deal.
The section labelled boring big story seeking resolution. Ole has told Manchester United top brass, it's across all the back pages, that he needs Harry Maguire ASAP after Eric Bailly picked up a nasty looking injury yesterday. Name a recent transfer with massive money on the line that's as boring as the process of Manchester United eventually spending 80 million big ones on Harry Maguire.
Van Dijk was kind of boring. The Van Dijk process was boring. Granted, it was January, so it didn't last as long. All big money moves these days are kind of boring, to be honest.
The only thing about Van Dijk was you had Southampton reporting Liverpool initially the summer before, and there was, will Southampton continue to sell their entire club to Liverpool, or will they dig in? And eventually they sold them.
True.
But most of these sagas, Neymar is far more boring than that, Adrian.
Klopp says that Bale is not coming to Liverpool, which is boring, but he added that they want a team, not individuals. So a nice little bit of a dig from Jurgen, a bit of sideswipe there on Jurgen Klopp. Going into the weekend, what do you expect next weekend's biggest transfer stories to be?
Well, Neymar is going to get resolved at some point.
Boring or not boring?
Pretty boring at this stage.
Neymar to find a club that is called FC Barcelona.
Anything else?
It is the most boring saga of the summer by a mile. Maguire is still going to be dragging on as well. I think Leicester, if they are going to sell him, they'll probably end up selling him quite close to the start of the season, and it seems they've got Dunk lined up if he does go.
And I lapsed one a little bit from left field here. Boca Juniors confirmed the signing of Italian midfielder Daniele De Rossi, who's left Roma after 18 years at the club, so he joins the Argentinian side on a free transfer. Nice piece of business for them. He's expected to retire as a one-club man, but off now to further sun himself in South America. Sweet deal. Yeah,
Bertiso is who would have played for Roma for 5 years, centre half as a technical director there, so he's attracted De Rossi across. De Rossi, Roma tried to make him a director. He said, look, I think I've got 1 or 2 years of football in me. Parma tried to sign him, didn't want to play against Roma, which is understandable after 18 years. And then Carlos Vea's club, the MLS leaders, LAFC, tried to sign him as well, but I think he went for the romance of signing for Boca Juniors. They have Tevez still on the books there as well. I think De Rossi, who will probably be rotating in and out of the team at the age of 36, are probably the favourites to win the Copa Libertadores now.
That was deal or no deal.
To be there now is a dream come true for me.